The Party Animals swept the Savannah Bananas this weekend, and I couldn't be more happy. Brandon, can we take a look at this league standings right here?
I don't want to look. I don't want to look right now.
I think that says the Party Animals have 13 wins, and the Savannah Bananas, what? I think it only says 12.
It didn't move from last week. Thank you.
Holy cow, what a weekend. The Party Animals swept the Savannah Bananas in Grayson Stadium 3-0, and we cannot wait to break it down.
There's a bunch of really great games, a couple where the Party Animals led from the start, one tragic ending for the Bananas where they were leading at the start and then it all fell apart. But this is going to be a great podcast, especially if you're a Party Animals fan.
Oh yeah, this is the Banana Breakdown podcast where we break down all things banana ball. I'm Sammy Collier, the life of the party.
And I'm Brandon Brimley. Sometimes I can go little bananas, and sometimes I can be sad about my bananas.
And we're going to have a party today as we talk about the Party Animals. All right, so let's start actually in the second game.
Okay.
Because I feel like that game was the turning point of the series.
Yes.
So just to give a little quick rundown here, the Bananas looked like the better team for the majority of that game.
You don't have to rub it in.
Yeah, so on Friday night we saw the Party Animals win, and Saturday it felt like the Bananas were, motivated, ready to come back and take a win. So they were hitting really well. It really felt like the Party Animals were outmatched. But with the way that Banana Ball is scored, their largest lead was only up 3-0.
Yeah.
And the Party Animals crawled their way back and were only down 3-2 going into the 9th inning.
And that's where it all fell apart. And I do have to say, I'm not a fan of these announcer jinxes. It's just don't talk about it when it's happening, especially if it's for the Bananas.
Yeah.
No, we appreciate all that you do, announcers Biko and Josh. You do a great job.
Yeah, so I'm just so excited. I can't get this smile off my face. A really fun thing watching Banana Ball is when players get mic'd up. And they get mic'd up in some really big moments. And that's what happened in the 9th inning. Danny Hosley came to the mound, and the Bananas were feeling good. They're up 3-2, get 3 outs, and you win the game. And Danny Hosley had been on a 9-inning streak, a 9 scoreless inning streak. And he's mic'd up. And, we've all seen the announcers jinx. A 90% free throw shooter gets up to shoot a free throw, and the announcers are like, he's made 20 free throws in a row, and then he immediately misses. But this was even better because not only is Danny Hosley mic'd up, he also has an earpiece in. So he's having a conversation with Biko and Josh, and they bring up that he's on this scoreless streak, and then he gives up 4 runs in the 9th inning. And
Danny knew it too, because as soon as they bring it up, he's like, oh, come on, you guys had to bring up the jinx. It was really funny.
Yeah, I feel for you, Danny, honestly. You're a great pitcher, but that made for an entertaining broadcast. You could tell towards the end of that inning, Danny was getting a little frustrated. He had made the comment that his earpiece kept falling out, and eventually he just took the earpiece out and said didn't want to hear it anymore.
Just needs to dial in and focus.
Yeah, the Party Animals ended up scoring 4 runs in that inning, ended up winning 6-3.
Yeah, so that was just one example of the craziness of the weekend, and the Party Animals were just on top of it. I think one of the innings they scored 7 runs. It was just absolutely insane, the showing that they had this weekend. Yeah,
they were on fire. Going back to that Saturday night game, they used the golden batter rule very effectively. They brought Reese Hampton out as their golden batter, and he actually ended up batting twice that inning because of where he was in the lineup. I think he had 2 or 3 RBIs. I don't remember the exact number, but he really he basically won it for them.
Yeah, so just really cool to see all of that. And I did want to talk a little bit, though, put a spotlight on one of the Savannah Bananas this weekend who had a fantastic weekend, DR Meadows. DR Meadows on Friday had a 5 trick play game. Now, he's a center fielder. The trick play record, single game trick play record, is 7 trick plays held by Ryan Cox at shortstop, where there are typically more ground balls hit. So DR Meadows gets 5 on Friday, absolutely great performance. Then Saturday comes around, he gets 5 more trick plays on Saturday. Then Sunday comes around and he gets 7 trick plays, ties the single game trick play record. He has the best trick play record of an outfielder, and that puts him at 17 trick plays for the series. So even though the Party Animals got swept, DR Meadows, 17 trick plays, absolutely incredible showing, and just really showed how well and how good he is at getting those trick plays in the outfield.
I don't think it can be emphasized that enough that he is an outfielder doing this. Putting up these types of numbers as an outfielder, it's just insane. He had an incredible weekend. Some of the plays that he made were just insane. He had one that was just fun where he popped it up to himself, caught it in his hat. He had, his signature backflip catches. Yeah. One insane behind the back catch on the run. Just incredible showing by him. It was amazing.
Yeah, and just a little bit of a call out if you're listening to the podcast and you haven't heard about this. We do a weekly top plays where just a quick around 5-minute video where we talk about the top 10 plays of the week and show the videos from that. So some of DR Meadows stuff is definitely going to be on that. So you're going to want to check it out if you haven't already.
For sure. You'll see some epic stuff.
And then, so with that, DR Meadows, center fielder, if you look at the year's standings, he has 58 trick plays. He just passed Chase Acuff this weekend into second place, and he's only 10 trick plays behind Ryan Cox. Now, to put that even further into perspective, he's at 58. The next outfielder closest to him is Reese Alexiades with the Bananas in right field with 19. And the other center fielder on the Party Animals, Reese Hampton, has 17.
Remember, DR Meadows had 17 this weekend.
Yes, 17 in one weekend, the other center. So nothing against the other players. Again, we've talked about this on the podcast before. Party Animals inherently get less trick plays, opportunities because of the way that Banana Ball is scored with the home team. But just absolutely crazy that he's that close to Ryan Cox, knowing how good Ryan Cox is at getting these trick plays.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting next season when everyone has an even number of home games and away games to see how this kind of evens out. But still, just incredible stuff from DR Meadows showing that, outfielders can put up the same kinds of numbers as infielders. Some numbers we didn't think were possible.
Yeah, and it was pretty impressive watching his performance because it was pretty much every single ball that got hit to him, he was doing some sort of trick play. And it was just really cool where he's been practicing really hard to learn the different trick plays, and it wasn't like he did the same trick play over and over again. It was really impressive how many different trick plays he did this weekend.
As I've been watching, I've thought, how do they decide? Is it something we're gonna need to ask these guys?
Yeah.
But when the ball's in the air and it's coming to you, you can't make the decision right then. You've got to make the decision beforehand, right? I don't know. Maybe it's okay, when the ball hits me in this inning, I'm gonna do this. I don't know. But it's so crazy. All of a sudden, the ball's hit to me, split-second decision, I'm gonna do a backflip.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool to see, and the trick plays were definitely a bright spot in an otherwise dark weekend for the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, it was a dark weekend for the Savannah Bananas. It was an amazing weekend for the Party Animals. And again, I really felt like that second game was the turning point. It didn't really feel like the Bananas even had a shot on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's one of those, momentum's a real thing in sports, and to give up, seriously, to give up a comeback like that can be so deflating, and then you have to turn around and play the next day is just brutal. So, the Bananas played well, and DR Meadows really was the he honestly could have won Showman of the Night all 3 nights, even in the loss.
I was actually wondering if they would have given it
Yeah.
to him, but alas, no, they didn't.
Yeah. So Party Animals did their thing, took care of business, and now the Party Animals are leading in the standings.
Absolutely crazy. I think this might be the first time they're leading since game 1 when they were winning 1-0.
Yeah, I think so. And it's been crazy to see they are playing so well in Grayson Stadium.
Yeah.
Just insane. So it's this weekend again in Grayson Stadium. We'll see what happens. But it kind of feels like the Bananas play a little bit better in the other stadiums.
I mean, if you think about it for a minute, Grayson Stadium is the home stadium for essentially all of the teams.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Party Animals probably have more fans at Grayson Stadium because they get these continual fans to be able to come to these games.
Yeah.
But if they're going to an MLB stadium, most people are just going to be bandwagoners and they're going to jump on the Bananas and say, "Go Bananas." And most of them don't even know who the Party Animals are unless they've already been to a game.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Although when we went to the game in in Arizona, the first game of the season, I was shocked at how many Party Animals fans there were. Felt good to be among my fellow Party Animals.
Well, we'll have to get you to a home game of the Party Animals sometime so you can really feel that.
Seriously. I cannot wait for that. That's going to be so fun.
And unfortunately, Drew Gillespie had an amazing weekend on the mound again, helping close out the games against the Savannah Bananas. It really pains me every time I see him on the mound because of how good he is, and he just closes the door on the Bananas.
He is so clutch.
Seriously.
That's a aspect of sports that you can't really see in the stats, but Drew Gillespie is so clutch. To give you an idea, Friday night, he is trying to close out the game, bottom of the 9th, and here comes Dan Oberst. And he already has 2 home runs this game. He's trying to become the first player in Banana Ball history to have a 3 home run game. And Drew Gillespie calmly gets up to pitch, and he strikes him out.
Crazy.
Just ice in his veins, Oberst is having one of the best games of his career, and Drew Gillespie's like, you know what? I don't even care. I literally don't care. And I'm going to do my thing, and you can't stop me. And then he closed it out on Sunday as well. Just epic performance by him.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that. All of the pitchers are really impressive to watch. I mean, Brady Keiss on the Party Animals closed it out for them on the Saturday game. And it's just crazy to see how well these players play. And I mean, they had to go against a couple torpedo bats this weekend. Coach Rack used a torpedo bat and unfortunately didn't help him get the home run, leading to the dismay on my prediction, which we'll get into a little bit later. Just wanted to call out with how relevant the torpedo bats are right now.
That's quite the controversy. I don't know if we want to go into that.
Okay, I guess we won't go into that controversy. Instead, let's jump into the fact of the week.
These will be fun. I guess we'll just bring it right back to Drew.
Yeah, go for it.
His fact, really fitting for this weekend. Drew Gillespie's fact was likes closing doors. Yeah, he does. He closed the door right on the Bananas this weekend.
Right in their faces.
Yeah.
And then mine was Noah Fisher on the Party Animals. His said he can't swim upstream. I'm starting to really enjoy looking for Noah Fisher's fact of the week. He has some pretty good ones on there.
Yeah. Dalton Ponce was he could do accurate goat noises. He got mic'd up this weekend as well, and he actually did a goat noise for us, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we requested it on the podcast, and it happened. So, I mean, it's crazy.
We have so much power.
And then honorable mention, calling out another one that we talked about. A few weeks ago, Noah Fisher said, would fight a kangaroo. And this week, Noah Niznik said, would fight any animal. So just one-upping Noah Fisher, and I think Noah Nisnik heard us talking on the podcast about how cool that was.
Oh yeah,
and
you know these guys. All they listen to, getting pumped up before a game is just, I gotta listen to what Sammy and Brandon are saying about me, and they just put their AirPods in. They just listen to us on repeat. We know it.
Yeah, we'll know for sure if someday you get on there, if Drew Gillespie comes up to pitch and it says Sammy's favorite pitcher or something like that. No. But the other thing we wanted to talk about was the comment of the week. We like to look through the comments on the Savannah Bananas YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, find something that was a really cool comment about the state of banana ball. And this one was from Vincent Morales, and it said, I'm 68 and have never watched an MLB game because the game is so boring and the season is so long. The only time I do watch baseball is during the playoffs and the World Series. But this banana ball has caught my interest in another way. Thank you for making the game exciting and fun. I will be watching. And I think that's a sentiment that a lot of people have. So just wanted to call that out of we're making banana ball fans of everyone as we go. This was on the Savannah Bananas, one of their live streams of their games, but just really cool to see that.
Yeah, people are loving this. It's starting to really take off. I'm always amazed when I'm watching the live stream and I'm seeing the comments, and so many people are so invested in this. They watch it every single week. It's really growing. People are becoming huge fans. Yeah,
for sure. And then something that we wanted to go into next was the Bananalytics. We jumped into it a little bit with DR Meadows stuff earlier, but wanted to do a shout out for Brett Helton on the Party Animals. It said this weekend he has the most career innings under 2 minutes. So in banana ball, that's a statistic that they do is minutes per inning. And so they track how fast an inning is because the faster the inning, most of the time, makes a better game. And so really impressive that he's been able to pull that off.
Yeah, that's something that I love about banana ball is the short innings. It's like, holy cow, that was that was so fast. It's so impressive. They just get up and pitch so quickly.
Yeah, and on that, there was a bunch of them this weekend that got in the records for the minutes per inning. Not any like first place, but Andy Archer got 1:08 inning, fifth for the year. And then a couple other ones this weekend really fast from Zach Phillips from the Bananas, Blake Benson from the Party Animals, and Brady Keiss from the Party Animals. So good job, guys.
Yeah, we also saw one of the fastest strikeouts as
I don't know if I can talk about this one.
Yeah, sorry to all the Coach Rack fans out there. But yeah, Brady Keiss struck Coach Rack out in 10.5 seconds.
But yeah, we wanted to go into a new section that we're going to do today, quick takes and a lightning round. So there's a couple other things that we saw throughout the game that we just kind of wanted to throw out there, give a quick discussion on, and then open them up to you in the comments if you're watching on YouTube to let us know what you thought about these moments and if there were any moments from the weekend that we missed.
First one here, we know that the banana ball team is so good at hopping on trends, and we all have seen the crazy Minecraft movie theater experience. And so the Bananas hopped on that train, the chicken jockey train.
And so what happened was all of a sudden in the middle of the game, one of the players, I think it was Kyle Perry, in a chicken suit, comes out to the mound. DR Meadows rushes in from center field, jumps on his shoulders, and Biko and Josh in the announcer booth shout, "Chicken jockey!" And then DR Meadows throws a perfect strike.
Yeah.
And then you look over at the Bananas dugout, and they're all throwing popcorn to highlight the craziness of the Minecraft movie.
Just hilarious. I do not understand it. I'll be completely honest. I don't understand what that's all about.
Yeah,
but
me neither. But it's really cool to see them jump on these viral trends.
Feel so old. All right, yeah. Next one, super awesome moment from Friday. Travis Hunter, former Colorado football player, going to be a top 3 pick in the NFL draft, and the Heisman Trophy winner, came in throughout the first pitch of Friday's game. And he did a dance with the Bananas, and he did a backflip. Pretty awesome moment. It
was pretty cool. And if you hadn't seen this yet, when they bring out someone like this, they call it the first pitch that counts. So he threw the ball. Unfortunately, it was a ball. So that was bad for the Bananas. Hey, maybe that's why they lost the games this weekend.
Travis Hunter's fault.
They started off with a ball in the first count.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No, it's really cool to see all these people that are coming to these games from all different parts of the sports industry.
Yeah, I mean, the Heisman Trophy winner participating in a banana ball game, you know that the league is made when that's happening.
Yeah. And then another quick one that was really cool, Corell Prime was playing at first base, and it was really only for one play that I saw, but suddenly you see him in this like blue and gray vest, and it had the Amazon Prime logo on the back, and then his name, Prime, and his number. It was very much like a Dustin Baber leprechaun vest, and I really loved it, and I hope that they bring it back. He wasn't wearing it for the rest of the game. I think they might have been testing it out, but yeah. I'm a huge fan of doing that, and I hope they bring it back.
The Prime delivery vest, yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and the announcers called it out of like, because he got an out. They're like, oh, he's delivering for the Bananas. And it was
yeah,
like,
that's awesome.
I got you there. And then another one was KJ Jackson. Really cool trick play attempt that didn't go perfectly, but amazing to see the attempt. So he's at third base, he gets a ground ball, and then all of a sudden he plants his feet and does a backflip. Unfortunately, the ball slipped out of his glove in the process, so he couldn't get the out at first. But he was trying to make it there, and the announcers were saying he's tried it before at second base, couldn't make it in time. Like, they were kind of, is it even possible to make it there? So what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's got to be a really fast backflip, especially throwing from third base.
Yeah.
But I would love to see it. I love that he keeps trying, and one day we're going to see it, and it's going to be epic.
Yeah, and on the topic of all these new trick plays, the Texas Tailgaters and FireFighters are coming in the next couple weeks, and if you check them out on Instagram, you can see some of the behind the scenes of the players practicing some new trick plays we've never seen before, and I'm getting really excited to see them play soon.
Yeah, one of their advantages is they've had a long time before their first games. You know, they've been in the off season, they've been trying to implement new trick plays and stuff, while Party Animals and Bananas have been playing games, so I'm excited to see some brand new stuff.
Yeah, me too. Looking ahead with what we've got coming down the pipeline, there's some really cool stuff. So actually today, as we're filming the broadcast, there was some incredible banana ball news that dropped. So ESPN will be hosting 10 banana ball games in the coming weeks. They will be simultaneously cast to YouTube just like normal, but they're also on ESPN, which means we'll be getting a larger crowd of people being introduced to banana ball, which is exciting.
Yeah, so it's going to be on ESPN Plus and Disney Plus. And so, yeah, people will be looking, you know, I do this. ESPN Plus shows all sorts of weird sports. I found myself watching cricket. I've watched all sorts of stuff. Fishing, I think.
Wow.
I could be wrong. Maybe I was somewhere else with that one. But yeah, so people are going to be, you know, looking through the app trying to decide what sport to watch on, you know, Friday night or Saturday night. And they're going to come across banana ball, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so if you are wanting to watch those ones on ESPN, the first one's going to be on April 26th with the Clemson football stadium. Then they're doing a bunch of cool MLB parks, a couple of the NFL stadiums, but we'll put the schedule on screen now so you can kind of see. But one of them is going to be Fenway Park. They're going to do the Nationals Park. So some really cool stuff from them. But it was really great weekend for the Savannah Bananas because they had this announcement for ESPN, and then they also were on 60 Minutes that aired right after the Masters.
Yeah, one of the best Masters in years too. Shout out Rory McIlroy winning the Masters. That was exciting.
Yeah, so really cool to see that and see how much that's going to affect it. I was reading an article today that said when they've done these before, one of the games had over 450,000 people watch on ESPN. So with the sport growing, it's going to be even more this time, especially with people being like, wait, baseball in a football stadium? Like, I think that's going to be huge for the Bananas.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see it. I'm really excited to see what new fans can be brought in. And, you know, something I've been wondering is when are we going to get a banana ball tab on the ESPN app so I can check the score on the app and the stats with the trick plays and everything. Can't wait till it's, accepted enough for that to happen.
So now comes the part where we unfortunately talk about our missed predictions. It tends to be that way for us, but we predicted on the home runs last weekend, and I predicted that Robert Anthony Cruz and Reese Alexiades would both get a home run to kind of jump ahead of Jake Skoll and for Rack to increase his lead. Neither of them had a home run.
In our defense, we can't really count this because we are predicting the games that got rescheduled.
That's true.
Yeah. We didn't know the games were going to get rescheduled. We predicted something. That would have happened. It had in the alternate universe where those games got played. We know that we know I got mine right.
Well, we'll save it because those games were actually rescheduled.
Yeah.
So when that happens, we'll bring this back and see if we got them right.
Yeah, you'll see I got it right.
But yes, Sammy's bid for Jake Skoll to get a home run also did not happen.
Yeah.
But to shout out a few of them, we talked about Dan Oberst. He got 2 home runs, so he jumped up to tie second place with 4. And then Tanner Thomas and Reese Hampton also got home runs to jump up and tie that 4 slot. So bunch of people right behind Coach Rack in the 4 home run slot. And then other than that, Andy Cosgrove and Dustin Baber also had home runs this weekend, which was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to jump into the prediction for this week, and we're going to predict how this next weekend for the Savannah Bananas is going to go. So they're going to have 2 games at Grayson Stadium, and Savannah Bananas have to come back. They've got to sweep them. 2-0 is my prediction.
I'm riding the Party Animals wave right now. They've got all the momentum. Make this 5 wins in a row.
Please no.
Gonna be a 2-0 sweep for the Party Animals.
I don't know if I can take a 15-12. A 10-12 jump up to a 15-12 is just
it's gonna happen.
Devastating.
Book it.
Well, that was a great weekend of Banana Ball, especially for Party Animals fans.
It was a fantastic weekend. Cannot wait for this weekend.
But thank you so much for tuning in. We'd love to hear what your favorite thing is about Banana Ball and about this weekend specifically. But in the meantime, go Bananas.
Go Party Animals.